Hello, World of Tank Blitzers, and hopefully a few future Mumrads. Hey, I'm Littlefinger, and I'm back today, this time doing a review on the A20. You can see it here in the garage. It is a Russian Tier 4 light tank. It's got some nice slopes to it. It's going to get you some good bounces. It's also got very good mobility and a lot of fun with the gun. This is your Seal Clubber's tank of choice, meaning that those of us that like to drop down to lower tiers to get a few kills in this is one of the best tanks to do it in. So let's take a look at the tech tree, show you where this is at. You can see here after the BT7 we go to the A20 to the T34, and then the line breaks off into some very light fast, the MT25 LTTB and the T54 lightweight, all very fast. These again got great angled armor and really fun to drive if you like really moving around the map and creating chaos. You can also go down to the 3485, which goes to the 43, 44, etc. And these tanks are a little bit slower, a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker armor, all with the great Russian guns, and just one of the best lines, in my opinion, in this game. Let's go back to the home screen here and just see what I'm running on it. Since it's a magazine, I have to run the fire extinguisher, can't run my favorite adrenaline, but we've got a repair kit and the multi-purpose repair kit. Milk, protective kit, and standard fuel. Ammunition running 80 rounds of AP, 50 rounds of APCR. Penetration on the AP there at 40 to 70 is not the greatest, and we'll see that in the spreadsheet coming up. APCR, so you will need some of that, but don't worry, you can still make lots of money in this tank. Obviously, using the shell price button here will let you switch that from gold to credits, and just carrying a few token rounds of HE in case we run into some tanks that have absolutely no armor. Let me pull up the spreadsheet and we can talk about how this compares to the other Tier 4 lights. So this spreadsheet here comes to you via blitzstars.com. Go visit them, check them out. They've got lots of great data. You can compare all kinds of tanks as we've done here. I've got all of the Tier 4 lights lined up with the A20 there on the left. You can see here for the regular AP, 1446 damage per minute with a penetration just under 60. Does really well with the DPM, which is why this is a favorite Seal Clubber tank. Penetration is a little bit on the low side, but that's made up for with a very nice penetration values on the APCR. So just have to spend a little bit of extra credits to get that penetration when you need it. Rate of fire at 36 is pretty good, and a reload time there of 8.29 seconds is the slowest on the reload, but you're doing 6 shells in two bursts with 3 shells per burst. So shell velocity there of 900 is really good, so penetration over distance is pretty good too. Aim time of 1.32 seconds is amazing when you look at the other tanks there. Dispersion is also pretty good. The downside, and probably the only downside to this tank, is your 7 degrees of depression. But if you're an experienced driver, you know how to use that terrain to your advantage. Use hills to get actually negative gun depression, etc. So moving into the movement section, we've got 65 kilometers per hour, which is the fastest of these light tanks at Tier 4. 515 horsepower, which gives you almost 30 power to weight ratio, which you can see here is the best in class. Terrain resistance is also pretty good there. Credit coefficient is really good there at 121. So a lot of things going for it with this tank. Hull armor at 20 is pretty poor, but it does have nice slopes to it, which do lead to several bounces. And Turret armor at 37 is also fairly poor. Again, this tank, and you'll see through the gameplay, you're always on the move. You're not sitting still. You don't want to leave yourself as an easy target at all in this tank. So anyway, let's take a look at equipment setup. Okay, so here is the new equipment layout with update 3.8. Top tier you can unlock with credits. There is a waiting period for unlocking any of these, which I find pretty ridiculous. Anyway, improved vents or calibrated shells are your first two options. Let's just look at the shells first. You can see it would add 3 millimeters of pen to the AP. 59 is really not that great, so I would choose the improved vents, mainly because this enhances lots of other areas: traverse speed, turret traverse speed, rate of fire, dispersion, view range. It just comes with many more options that are worthwhile in my opinion. So for sure, vents. Protected modules obviously protects you from fires, ammo racks, immobilizations, basically dead engine. So enhanced cabin protects your crew. Now, for me, I'm not too worried about the crew. You can survive with some of them hurt or dead, whereas I'd rather not get ammo racked in a game, because if you do, it's game over. So going to go with protected modules. Specialization here, we've got a choice between improved optics and camouflage net. Camouflage net will reduce your visibility even when moving, 5%, 10% when stationary. However, I'm not stationary very long in this tank, and I'd much rather add the 23 meters of view range to get this up to 261. Enhanced gun lane drive, and this one's really kind of hit or miss for me here. You're only reducing your aim time by 0.2 seconds. That's not much at all. Supercharged is adding 10% to shell velocity and subtracting 30% to your decrease with distance for pen. Not really using this tank at a distance, so that's not really a benefit. Plus 10 shell velocity maybe. Right now I'm just going to leave it on the enhanced gun lane drive. Choice between enhanced armor, well, 5% of crap is still pretty much crap in my opinion. So since we don't have good armor on this tank, I'd rather just go ahead and add the 5% to the hit point pool. Could save us in a game or two with that 30 extra hit points. Currently working, you can see here on the actually I'm working towards the engine accelerator. You can see here that I've got 3 hours and 39 minutes remaining until that becomes active, or I could always use 16 gold and accelerate that. Just a ploy from Wargaming to siphon off our gold faster, if you ask me, and I refuse to do it. So anyway, engine accelerator is what I'm working towards. Improved control, you know, I'm not much of a difference there between traverse speeds of 58, 55. So gonna go with getting to top speed faster. Vertical stabilizer only reduces your aim time by 0.2, and the dispersion by 0.018. So neither one of these are great in my opinion, and I may not go the route of spending spare parts on them. I haven't really focused on enhanced tracks or toolbox. I haven't got this far down on any of my tanks yet, so I haven't been able to play around with the differences and what works. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Consumable delivery system is what I would choose on here, because I want my consumables to be readily available to me as fast as possible. That's your repair kit and your standard small and large kits. And the reason is I don't use the engine boost or adrenaline on this tank, so that would give me no benefit whatsoever. So I would go with the consumable delivery system. All right, so let's take a look at some gameplay. First game here, Falls Creek, bottom tier. We've got 3 tier 5s. Not exactly sure which way this team will want to go. I don't want to call it myself. So I'm going to be a little patient here and I'm going to go out wide and wait for others to do the spotting for me. Save my hit points. And when we get that Chaffee coming out over, we'll get a few shots into him, not many. And right back down and safely reload. And we've got that PZ4D there just sitting over the top, and split between those two rocks and get a nice round of shots in there. I'm hoping he'll stay there, but he doesn't. Okay, what are you doing? Alright, you're going to climb up on there. We'll get about 160 hit points into you. Appreciate that. And you can see how careful we were taking this. We get kill number 1 there. And no one's really even seen me or taking shots at me. Chaffee's down here, so I'm going to move in and just keep him from getting away from us here. Get kill number 2 there. BDR wasn't really a smart move. But anyway, we'll push up. Just checking the mini map here. It looks like the Lux is all by himself, so we'll be careful. We'll poke around the corner here and make sure we get a full round of shots into him there. And we'll wait patiently for our reload and see if he doesn't back away for kill number 3. Leo's on the move here. It's obviously faster than I am. Would prefer to get the Leo out. Get a couple shots into him there, but nothing great. You can see we've stayed on AP this whole game. Haven't yet had to switch over to APCR now. Want to make sure that every shot counts here. So we'll get a full round there. 168 into him, and I'm trying to get out of his line of sight. Can't get down quite fast enough. But we'll get another full clip into him and get rid of him. So 1 left. Commander's hurt, but not much point in repairing that at this point, I don't think. Figure he's AFK over here somewhere. And sure enough, I get spotted. Spot him up for the rest of the team. Get a full round of shots into them. Another ram for 149. And unfortunately, he gets taken care of before I can reload. So we did 1,669 damage. It was good for a mastery. Made 21,000 credits, 3 kills. And we had a hand in just about everybody's. Looks like we injured 3 tanks there. So anyway, good game. We started off conservative, and then we saved our hit points for the end. Okay, top tier, Canal. Bunch of lights and mediums, so would love if everyone went left. And I'm going to go far left. I like to stay far wide there so you don't get spotted, and then peek over this ridge right here, and you can see if they're coming down that alley or if they've gone up the hill there like that. And I'm spotted and get a few shots in there. Take a couple though. So I'm down 100 hit points. That T28 has dropped down the hill. A little too exuberant maybe, but I know this A20 looks like a good player, so I'm going to go ahead and focus on him. I've got that T28 there. See if I can't get a few shots before he goes behind the hill. Nope. So they're all kind of mingled right around the edge there. No point pushing forward without any support. The SU's finally coming over. Electo's just fired there, so we got time to let the aim in, and we'll take a full round into him. No point staying there because he's picked up on us and he'd shoot us. Probably drop 200 hit points or something. So I'm going to see if we can't get around the corner and get him. But he's taken out by someone else on the team. T28. And you see how I'm just peeking around the corner here. And ready just to pull back if needed. He's T28's making a run for it, so we're gonna go ahead and get him out of the game here. Not sure why you would try to ram a DW, but okay. So we've got the Martyr over there, and there were two down here. So I'm gonna focus in on this A20. Look at the speed here. 50 kilometers an hour up the hill. Ram kill. Go ahead and repair those tracks because we've got another A20 behind us. Reloading here. Just going to peek over the hill and wait for him to come up. Get a full load of clips into him and then back down. And he bounces a couple. But he gets my tracks right here and I can't turn in time to get him on the way back. And then I made a bad decision to unload half my clip. So since he's the only one left, I'm just going to see if I can't draw him out, drop into the lake area here, and sure enough, someone else takes him out for the win. So you can see just mobile map awareness are very important with this tank. And using the train to your advantage. 1292 damage, only one kill. Solid team. Alright, here's an interesting game on Winter Malinovka. Lowest tier here. Typically I would, especially with the KV1 they're calling right, but seeing that some of those guys look like they were going middle, I would typically go around the building to the ship there, but I had a feeling that they were going to push that corner hard. I would have been in trouble had I done that. So I'm going to try to use this hill to my advantage. Chaffee's got a nice strong turret there, so switch over to APCR and get a one shot in. Problem I've got now is my gun depression. I can't peek over the corner here and get a shot. So let me see how I'm having to go away from the hill here. I can't go towards the hill. And even then, I'm still a little bit too high. So I've seen 3 or 4 now spotted on that side. So I'm going to go around this corner and see if we can't get some shots in down here. That M3 Lee is turning around, not looking the right way. So we'll go ahead and unload a full clip into him and finish him off. So it looks like their entire team is over in this corner. Still have one missing. But I'm thinking, you know, this could be a long, drawn out. Everyone's hull down. So I wanted to go around and flank all the way around. But the Churchill here is coming down the hill. So obviously tier 5, great armor. We'll try to get as perpendicular as possible. And not sure. I guess he's not just a very strong player. He's slowly turning around there. Only get one of those shots to go in, but no point messing around with him now that he's turned and aiming at me. Let's focus on what the intent of this flank was, to go ahead and get behind these guys and get them distracted. So there's the M5 Stuart. He's obviously just a one shot, so we finish him off. PZ4 is right there, wide open. It's not expecting me to come through here. Go ahead and draw a bad shot from him and unload another clip. He's going to try to go around to get a better angle than me, but I'm going to go ahead and get a shot in here on the PZ4, and you see I don't penetrate at all. So no point sticking my head out there with 2 tanks knowing I'm there. So we've got the Churchill. Can use some APCR on him and finish him off. And so now you can see what I've done. I've distracted a couple tanks and they're focused on me. Meanwhile, I've moved on to other targets, and they're not being effective in the game. So we'll push around here on the Churchill. He gets taken out. Switch over to AP. See if we can't get Chaffee out here. Miss on the first round there, but we catch up and get him on the second round. And obviously he's not expecting us to be over there, which is the nice maneuverability of this tank. And because I was able to kind of count tanks, and he's seen I've shot, so he thinks I'm on a reload, but I still got 3 shots left, so he peeks out and we finish him off. That was a very well fought, nice, fun game to play, actually. And it was, I think, a lot closer than the 5-0. But we did 1,372 damage. We got 3 kills there. And certainly helped with distracting the other team. So, anyway, let's see if I can't find another one to play. Okay, last game I'm going to show. This one's on Middleburg. You can see here, bottom tier. What I like to do is use these hills as cover. So I come over and just kind of stick out, waiting for someone to either come up the hill or peek around the corner there. We've got 2 spotted so far. There's the third. You can see I was a little bit on that ridge and couldn't get the gun depression down. But just stick around the corner here, unload a clip into him. You can see a T-28 pushing up, so we'll wait, reload, and unload a clip, back up. And you see I'm moving all the time, making sure I'm not an easy target for anyone. Well, I think I've dropped off the radar. Move forward to another hold down position, and I'm going to get behind this hill here and finish off T-28. So far we've taken 1 shot and we've unloaded 3 clips. Hetzer is on his way up here, obviously not a tank that I want to deal with, so we're going to make a little run for it there. One thing I strongly encourage you not to do is to sit on top of hills. You're just asking to lose a full tank's worth of damage in a very short amount of time. So once you take your shot, back down and reload. Plus, if they've spotted you, it's always good to just reposition yourself. Get a little distracted here by hitting the T-28, but Leo's the last one left, and he's run himself into a wall, so I'm going to get behind him, and I'm going to make sure that he's not going anywhere. So even if he kills me, he's trapped here. But you can see with him, with his turret turned sideways, we can go ahead and unload a full clip into him. Rather straightforward game, actually, but you can see here we did 1,345 damage in a very short amount of time. So that's why this tank is a Steel Clubber favorite for sure. It's got great penetration on the APCR. It's got a high rate of fire, very good damage per minute, and super fun maneuverability. So anyway, guys, that's my review of this tank. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe on the battlefield and have fun. This is just a game. As always, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.